Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Norris. I had to make sure I put my stuff on Do Not Disturb because this is the time when everybody want to call you when you go live. But hey everyone, this is Narissa Malloy, your operations strategist and expert. And today I wanted to hop on real quick to just chat with you because I have a question for my solopreneurs, agency owners, and my consultants. Especially if you are a business owner with a small team or no team, this is for you. So if you are watching on replay, comment replay. If you're catching me live, say hey below. But my question for you is, are you owning your business or are you operating your business? So I want you to drop a comment in the chat. Let me know if you're owning or operating. And we're going to talk about the differences in the two. So ultimately, here's the reality of it. As new business owners, as you're growing, you may be in the phase of owning and operating at the same time. Wherever you are in your business, you may hit a point where you're doing both, owning it and operating it. The goal is to ultimately get to ownership and owning it versus the business owning you. The issue is a lot of people are operating their businesses where it owns them, where the business is actually taking control of their everyday life, their being, meaning you are the only person in your business as a solopreneur. Or you may feel like, you know what, I have a team, but they're not operating as efficient, or I'm doing everything still. I'm answering all the questions. I'm doing all the tasks. So if you feel that's you and your business is owning you, drop a 1 in the chat because I want to know exactly who I'm speaking to. So drop a 1 in the chat if you feel like your business is owning you. But ultimately, again, like I said, the goal is for you to own the business. So here's one big difference. When you own the business, it means that you are stepping up into the leadership role where you are key in your hiring. You're hiring team leaders, you're hiring managers, you're hiring executive admins maybe, or lead staff, because ultimately, you are supposed to be developing leaders that can make decisions, take initiatives, and carry your business apart from you, meaning you can step away, you can take a day off, you can do other things to grow the business and operate in a CEO role while your business is still functioning. But unfortunately, as business owners, you hire doers. And the thing is, you're pressed for time. You're pressed because your business has grown, which is great. So you think, I need to hire somebody, and I hire somebody fast. And you neglect some key things when it comes to hiring people. So you just hire someone that can do. And what you find is that when you hire doers, people that cannot make decisions, that lack initiative, that don't have critical thinking skills, they end up coming and asking you for everything. They come and they need your okay to create this, to do that. And what that does is overwhelm you as a CEO. But truly, you want people that can do the job and also take the lead, take ownership, take responsibility. So those are the key things you need to look for on your onboarding and hiring when you're looking for people that have ownership, people that will take ownership of the task, ownership of their roles and responsibilities. So how do you do that, Narissa? I'm going to tell you about it. So again, you want to, as the owner, you want to focus on leadership, bringing on leaders. And it doesn't have to be when you've grown X amount. Your first hire, if it's an executive admin or social media manager or a lead for your business, your office, it needs to be someone that has some type of leadership background, management background, or they've worked with a team. They have some type of critical thinking skills where they can make decisions. So these are some of the things you assess for in your interview process. These are some of the questions that you ask, right? So again, you want to steer away from hiring a bunch of doers unless this is what you need. It depends on your agency model. If you have an agency model where you just need people to knock stuff out and you don't need leaders, that's perfectly fine, but you should have someone leading the doers. Otherwise, you're going to be in charge of all of that stuff. Make sense? Drop a 2 in the chat if that makes sense. Next thing, you want to make sure that you have performance metrics, measures, KPIs, you name it. You need to have something in place to measure the success of that individual. So if you are hiring an executive admin, what are some measures of success? What are some key things that's going to show you and that individual that they are meeting the targets? What's the email response rate? How fast are they responding to emails or closing out your inbox? How are they organizing your calendar, organizing appointments, things of that nature? What is a metric for that? If it's a social media manager, how are they managing your social media as far as engagement, as far as how many people are responding, so on, so forth. Think about, I said social media manager, executive admin. If it's a salesperson in your business, a marketer, how many calls are being booked? How many new clients or how many old clients are coming back? So these are some metrics that you can set and measure to say, listen, your goal is to do 20% or do this amount. And so every time you guys meet, which should be weekly in the beginning, daily in the beginning and weekly from there on, you should be discussing how are they moving according to these metrics. So that way, when 30, 60, and 90 days come and they're not performing or meeting the metrics, they're not surprised because you've been having the conversations, meeting with them, and measuring. So, hey, if you decide on day 60 that they're not meeting every metrics and you want to definitely sever ties, you know that we've had multiple conversations. It's documented. You have this. So this was not successful. You are not meeting the metrics. So it's time to go. And again, it's unfortunate that when you are pressed with a growing business, which is great, you start hiring people because you need to offload, you need help, and you do things right away, and you may skip some of this. But I'm here to say that it's time for you to do a do-over. Give yourself some grace. Say, listen, I may have dropped the ball with a couple things, but I want to make sure that we start on a new, fresh whim. Especially, listen, we heading up into Q4. This is the perfect time to go over your onboarding with your team to say, listen, Q4, we're going to do things a little differently. We're going to set some metrics. We're going to set some targets. And every time we meet, we're going to talk about where we are, what we need, what type of support, what are the challenges. But the goal is X, Y, Z by December 31st, 2023. It's not too late. You can go ahead and do it over. Set the metrics, set the performance standards for you and your team, hold them accountable, and then move all in the same pace, right? And then that part leads me again to onboarding, because that's another way of re-onboarding your staff to say, listen, here are the roles and the responsibilities, but here are the metrics tied to your roles and the responsibility. These are the things that I want to measure success with, and we'll continue to measure and support you in these areas. I'll be evaluating every 30, 60, 90 days to see how things are going, or annual eval, add all of that. But it's a great time to set some structure, some expectation, some roles and responsibilities to get the team focused so that you guys can be on the same page and moving forward. And listen, you can identify early on if they're not on the same page. It's time to let them go. The most costly thing is a hire that's non-productive. You might as well do it yourself. It's better to have no one than have the wrong person in the role, just taking up time and taking up money. So do a quick recap. If the difference between owning and operating is owning is when you are in a position where you're running your business, you have leaders, you have team in place, and things are running smooth. You are the CEO and you're in a position to say, you know what, I can make sure I'm doing the revenue generating activities to grow my business. I'm operating in my genius zone. I'm allowing my team to lead. I'm trusting that my leaders are leading. Trust is a big thing with CEOs. I know that. That's the one most common thing I hear, that people can't do it like me, or, I don't trust anybody. But listen, the same way you are looking to trust this new hire has to build trust with you as well. It's a two-way street. So give up the trusting as a reason why you should not expand your team. It's time to let that go and understand that there is no I in team. You need to have a team if you want to expand your services, expand your reach, expand your impact, and expand your income. So I digress. So you want to own versus operate, where you're the only person doing everything in the business to the point where it's actually running you. You want to step away from that. You want to start looking at how can I put things in place, whether it's team, processes, what do I need to get some things in structured, streamlined, simplified, so that I can slowly start stepping back and focusing more on the tools that will continue to grow my business. Performance measures. Your team should have performance measures. You as a CEO should have performance measures. You should have some guidelines that you need to be doing to move your business forward every day. Your team should as well. You guys should be meeting regularly to discuss what's the status, what's the goals, are there any challenges, where you need support, so on and so forth, so that you can stay on top of it on a daily and weekly basis. You'd be surprised in 12 weeks what can happen once you start being structured in your goals and your objectives and your performance metrics. And lastly, your onboarding process. If you need to do it over with your team, it's okay. And now's the best time heading into Q4 to say, you know what? Let's do a do-over. Here are your roles and responsibilities. Here are your metrics. Here is our overall mission, vision, and purpose. This is where we're going. And are you on board? That's it. So if you're looking to own versus operate, drop in the chat which one you decide, which one you want to step into as you head into Q4 and beyond. Will you be the owner, or will you be caught up as the operator? So I want to hop in real quick and drop this knowledge for you. If this brought you some awareness, some confirmation, some ahas, drop it in the chat. I'm here to help. If you need a consultation, you want to know how can I move from the operator to the owner, then message me. Let's talk about the operations rehab, where we do a deep dive into your business, identify these gaps, and put key things, strategies in place for you and your team so that you can move from the operator role to the ownership role. So my name is Narissa Malloy, business strategist and operations expert, and I look forward to chatting with you guys soon. Take care.